Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the Blakeway Spirit channel. Hope you're all having an amazing weekend. I am going to be today looking back at an incredible event that happened last night. I know this is going out on Tuesday, I think, but I'm recording this on the Saturday, the day after Karate Combat 44 in Mexico City. Wow, man, what an event. I think that's one of the best ones they've done. I know from what it looked like on the broadcast, it didn't look like it was absolutely ram-packed. Like the balcony on the top looked a bit empty, but I mean, it didn't really matter because the Mexicans came out in force, and the confined space that the arena was in made the sound echo off the walls. It was great. The production was great. You had people like Robin Black dressed up, looking like he was a skeleton, and it was generally that was one of my that has to be top 3, top 5 Karate Combat events for me personally. But before we get started into it, guys, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. I think we're on 84 subscribers. Would be good to get to 100 by the end of February, so end of next week or beginning of March. That'd be good. But yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. All my socials in the description down below: Instagram and Twitter. Now let's get into it. But yes, today we are going to be talking about the main event, GOYITO Perez versus Eoghan Chelmiah. Now, for me, obviously, it was a GOYITO Perez. It was like I'm not sure if you call it a homecoming fight, but it's built around him. Obviously, it was in Mexico City, the event. It was in Mexico, his home country. Lots of other great Mexican fighters, karatekas, and ex-MMA fighters on the card too. But GOYITO Perez, he was the main event, fighting against Eoghan Chelmiah, who former bantamweight champion, recently lost to Mirzabek Tebiev, who he lost the belt to. And this was like a comeback fight. But I said in my initial preview video on Karate Combat, this is a risky fight for Chelmiah. First fight back after a devastating KO loss like that to Tebiev, against a much naturally bigger guy in Perez. He's tough. He's on the hot winning streak himself in MMA. This is by no means just a fight just to warm himself back up and get ready for a title shot. This is going straight in there with a potentially another contender for the company. And I have to be honest, although GOYITO won, and fair play to him, and I was tweeting about this as well last night, the story of the main event for me was Eoghan Chelmiah's massive, and I mean massive, improvements. You could tell that guy has worked his absolute socks off. You've got to remember, this is a guy who didn't even spar before that Tebiev fight. I think he might. I know obviously he did a few Wado Ryu competitions in karate. Obviously that's where his base is from. He is a proper karateka, but in terms of proper sparring, full contact, he hadn't really done that on a consistent basis. Even when he was champion of Karate Combat, obviously he was training for those in camps, but winning just off karate basic principles and his toughness. Obviously he's got such a great chin, but this against GOYITO Perez, and when these guys walked down into the pit, I was thinking, holy shit, I hope you know what he's got himself in for, because you've got to remember, GOYITO Perez is like an MMA, although this is a bantamweight thing, GOYITO Perez is an MMA bantamweight, so he looked a lot bigger than Chelmiah on the night, and looked like he'd blown up a lot. And I was like, holy shit, I hope Chelmiah is ready for this dude. And he was. The first round, he smashed it. He was slipping in and out. He was in that bladed stance. He was touching him up with a jab, and what a jab as well. Throughout the whole fight, Chelmiah's jab was wicked. Just moving in and out. Much like Andre Ewell, who fought earlier on the card. He lost in the end, but he was also very good at that, getting that karate stance, bouncing in and out very quickly. And just a completely different Chelmiah. Obviously, when he's fought before, high guard, just comes forward. Like I said, he's very tough. Takes one to throw to. That's kind of what his method has been so far in Karate Combat. But here, much more efficient with his movement, much more focused on just not on the art of pugilism, boxing. You're right, getting hit, throwing punches and not get hit. Right. Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He was doing that brilliantly. Second round again, I thought he won it. Although GOYITO Perez was just starting to time with his kicks, because Chelmiah, when he was coming in, I think Perez was just starting to get a reading on him when he was bouncing in that blade-in stance. And obviously, all these fighters were in Mexico City, right, which is like one of the highest cities on Earth in terms of altitude. And there were a lot of fights on the night, and these who guys, especially that Yanchuk and Escarrega fight. I mean, those blokes were knackered. But to be fair to Perez and Chelmiah, I thought the gas tanks held up brilliantly. But obviously, Chelmiah slowed down a little bit towards the end of the second. Perez just starting to get his timing with his front kicks. But still, I think Chelmiah just did enough to get the second. The third round, this is where the tide starts turning a little bit, but it's still a really close round. Chelmiah's still fairly bouncy on his feet. You know, still bamboozling Perez a little bit. Perez still just having a look at him, trying to get reads, trying to catch him when he comes in. And very close round that third. You could have made that a draw. That was so close. You could have gone that either way. And then the fourth and the fifth, to me, I think GOYITO Perez won that. Chelmiah, I think his gas tank can go down a considerable bit compared to the first two. Although he was still sticking to his main principles, his game plan of the movement, efficient movement, quick, fast jab, building attacks around his jab and all of that, he was starting to get a bit tired, and he was just starting to revert a little bit back to type of that high guard. And Perez was starting to catch him shots to the body, you know, front kicks to the body. I think that bodywork Perez was also starting to take effect a little bit on Chelmiah. But still, Chelmiah on his bike, moving around, right? He was obviously not throwing as much because he's a bit more careful. But, you know, he's still doing a lot better than what I've ever done and what I thought he would have done. And it was so much better than any of his other fights. And then we get the deciding round, the sixth round, obviously in Karate Combat. If the judges think the fight was so close over the contest, and you get one, like, death. What's it called? Final. What's a football term? My mind's gone blank. But you know what I mean. Truthful death. Fuck. What's it called? It's like final death or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, sudden death. That was it. Sudden death. Just. Mate, my brain works like a weird. My brain works so weird sometimes. But anyway, yeah. So it was like a sudden death round, and Chelmiah, you know, again sticking to his principles, and then Perez, same thing. It was just a clash of styles, really. And it was a very close round. This sudden death round in the sixth, right? Super close. But I think the judges, obviously it helps. It was in Mexico, and obviously the Mexican fans were cheering on for GOYITO. And I'm, you know, these judges are human. They can't help themselves, right? Although I think Perez, in my eyes, might have just won it as well. But obviously, you know, a draw would have been a fair result. But we don't do draws in Karate Combat, so yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was just a clash of. For the judges, it was just a matter of what do you rather see, right? And you see this in all combat sports. What do you rather see? Do you rather see volume? You know, guy that forward pressure, which is what GOYITO was doing, or do you like fast, bouncy, 1-2 and out? Like, do you like that? It's just like a clash of styles. Like, which judge prefers which style? You know, GOYITO, I think he probably took more damage to the face. And also they do take damage into account, but he was forcing the action with his come forward motion, which is ironic because it's normally Chelmiah who usually does that, you know. So it was quite strange seeing it roles reversed for him. But yeah, you know, GOYITO Perez, he got a win. Incredible fight. I urge you all to go and watch it again. I've only seen it once, but I'm definitely going to go and watch it back again, man. Chelmiah, I know he was gutted after it. Honestly, I don't know if you're going to see this, but don't be disheartened. Owen, I was really impressed, and I think a lot of the Karate Combat audience are very impressed as well. You showed massive improvements, massive heart. Call for that rematch, and if they don't give it to you, then just go and smoke whoever they give you next, man. Honestly, you're that close to getting back the belt, a title shot, in my opinion. So yeah, that's the review for Karate Combat 44, guys. Let me know who you think won. Do you think GOYITO had it? Do you think Chelmiah, it should have been given to Chelmiah? What impressed you about GOYITO? What impressed you about Chelmiah? Do you think you should fight someone else like Jesus Lopez? Let me know in the description down below, and I'll see you on the next one.